Good evening, everybody, and I want to welcome you to a special Sunday night edition of the Paranormal Weekend Brew Show. I'm Nighthawk. I'll be your host for a little bit here, and we're going to be getting into all kinds of weird stuff. We're going to be talking about the red-eyed shadow beings and all shadow beings. We're going to be talking about the doppelgangers. Yes, the dreaded doppelgangers, the dreaded lookalikes that don't show your face unless you show them yours. And I'm going to answer that little tidbit right there that I just acknowledged. Um, but first, we're going to go through the copyrights and all that, and some announcements. Okay. Um, Copyright disclaimer is this channel may use some copyrighted materials without specific authorization of the owner, but contends that it falls here under the Fair Use Act of 1976. Okay. Now, Nighthawk High Strange, this podcast channel, and all the podcasts on the channel, including William Nighthawk, declare fair use of any and all content, including the music, to be used for the sole purpose of informing you, the viewing family, of information such as criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, research, parody, per Title 17, subsection 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, otherwise known as the Fair Use Act. Okay. And this is for entertainment and educational purposes too. Okay. So, that being said, thank you for the Fair Use Act of 1976, the Copyright Act. Excuse me while I cough in your ear. Don't mean to do that. But you all know that I'm definitely not 100%. I'm not even sure I'm 50% to tell you the truth. I've been going through a lot of medical issues, physical problems, and I'm trying to work them out. But it's hard to do when you're on a low income. So it is what it is, you know. Whatever happens, happens. Okay. No, I don't have pneumonia, or no, I don't have COVID. This is just something that I have every day that I deal with, which is difficulty breathing. And I'm not sure if it's due to the small mass in my left lung, or whether there is actually something that happened to the basically the guinea pig surgery they did on me. Um, it feels like something's putting pressure on my diaphragm and my lungs and my heart all at the same time. Like there's a 25-pound weight sitting right here on my chest, and it's slowly crushing me. That's what it feels like. Okay, so but anyways, that being said, that's why I didn't go on this morning either. Okay, and there's going to be times where I can't come on live in a time frame that I want to. So I just hope you all understand that. Okay. Let's see who we got in the house. All right. Ozzy Sue, good to see you. Eric, good to see you. I think those are the only two we got so far. If you're in the house, let me know. If you're in the house and you. All right. Let's see. Well, we're still going to keep on going. Okay. Now, I wanted to talk about a little bit about certain things tonight, because I've been seeing them a lot lately. Um, and that's shadow beings. Okay. Some people call them, the shadow figures, interdimensional figures, basically the entire black silhouetted figure that's darker than the darkness around it. You can make it out. Sometimes they're reported that the Hat Man comes in that form with red glowing eyes. Um, and other times it's reported that, it's just a solid black mass, okay, and a human figure. Where do they come from? What are they? We're going to cover that, okay? we're going to kind of go over that tonight. I've been seeing them a lot lately. Okay. And it's never really good when you see them specifically a whole lot, because some people associate the shadow beings with evil or demonic activity, or just something very malevolent that you shouldn't want or have anywhere near you. Um, but I can tell you, fact, I grew up where I grew up on the property and in the house I grew up in. I interacted with shadow figures basically every moment I was alone in that property or in the house. Okay. I've only had one time when they became aggressive, and I think, and this is just a theory, okay. And like I said, I've been seeing these things for a very, very long time. Okay. Um, excuse me. Anyways, shadow beings, I believe, that they are possibly coming from another dimension. Okay. I could pull the whole, you know, they're coming from a fifth dimension or a sixth dimension. I'm not even going to name the dimension they're coming from, because the dimension they're coming from could even be Hades. It could be hell. Okay. Um, but I don't think they originally come with the intent to harm. Okay. Now, I could be off base with this, but I'm telling you, I have been dealing with these things since I was a little kid. Okay. Um, my whole life. And there was one time where the one got aggressive with me. And I think it was to warn me not to do something. Okay. Because I was a stupid child, and stupid kids do stupid things. Okay. And it was almost like this shadow being just wanted to misdirect my energy someplace else. Okay. Instead of focusing on what I was focusing on, which could have really hurt me. Okay. So I don't know. Maybe they are. Maybe they're interdimensional watchers, to make sure we don't screw up in life. Maybe they're there to teach us right from wrong, the evil and good in the world and in the intent of humankind. Um, I'm not altogether sure. Thank you, Ozzy Sue, for sending the prayers. Anyways, the shadow beings have been around forever. Okay. Um, and it's not because we leave our bodies. Okay. It's not the fact that it's that we leave our bodies like this picture, and our spirit turns into a shadow form. It's not that at all. Okay. Shadow figures literally come from another whether you call it a dimension or whether you call it another spirit plane, they come from that place. Okay. They come from that place. All right. And they come with an intent and purpose. And I do believe that they are almost like the watchers. Okay. Like they are watching us to make sure we don't screw up super bad. Okay. And we all know shadow beings when we see them, they're darker than the darkness around them. We when you interact with beings of questionable nature and questionable um, motives, you always have to have your guard up. Okay. You always have to have that guard up. Okay. So let's not forget about that. All right. When your senses tell you to fear something, you should fear it. Unless you're like me and you don't fear anything. Okay. And I don't say that to brag or boast. I say that because it's true. I've, I'm staring death in the face practically every single minute of the day. I don't have anything more to fear. Okay, plain and simple. I don't. So, unless I run out of coffee, and then that's a fear factor for me. But there are a lot of people in worse off positions than I am. Okay. And that kind of keeps me going, knowing that if I can reach just one of those people that are worse off than I am and help them in any way, shape, or form with what they're seeing or what they're experiencing, that's ultimately why I'm still here. Plain and simple. Okay. It's not that I'm some big tough guy and I can beat cancer 3 or 4 times without blinking an eye, because that's not true. Okay. Um, I'm here for a purpose, and I haven't quite figured out what that purpose is, but there's more to be taught. There's more to be learned from each other. Okay. Just as much as you can learn from the light, you can learn from the dark. As long as you don't let that darkness overtake you, okay, and make you do its bidding, okay. And I can talk about darkness and light all I want to, because I have that right, because I've been in both. Okay. Those of you that know me from the podcast channel and know me from personally, I have been in both the darkness and the light. Um, I can honestly say that I know there's a better place for me to be spiritually and energetic wise after I leave this body. Okay. I know because I've been there. All right. I've died before. Um, I've died a couple times. Um, so I have that connection to spirit, and I've done the Native American ceremonies to where I've traveled amongst the stars. I've done the ceremonies that my people do. I've sacrificed the body through flesh offerings and all that, and blood ritual. I've done all that. Okay. Now it's my turn to teach others what not to do and what to do to protect themselves. Okay. So, as far as shadow beings go, there, there's really the only thing that you're really going to have to protect you when you're dealing with shadow beings is yourself, is your faith. Okay. And I don't make that boast lightfully either. Okay. That's not just to be frivolously thrown out there and like saying, oh, well, if you wear a cross around your neck, you're a Christian. No, that's not what I mean. Okay. I mean, you have to stand solid in your faith, plain and simple. Your faith, not your religion, your faith. Okay. You need to let these entities know that they are no stronger and no better than you are. Okay. And the one thing that I've learned from being this ill um, over the last several years is that we all have Christ within us. Okay. We all have a piece of God within us because we are all his children, not just Jesus. Although Jesus was God's son in the flesh that became the creator, but you need to know that we all have that divine spark. And as long as we have that divine spark, we have the Christ within us. Okay. You have the power to say, I am the Christ. Okay. Meaning you are God's child, the Creator's child, our Heavenly Father. Okay. That's where you derive your faith from. Okay. From your Creator. Okay. So let's put that out there. Okay. Because faith has nothing to do with religion, no more than religion has anything to do with faith. It's they're two totally different things. Religion is something that mankind has set up to divide the masses. Okay. That's all it is. Whether you're Muslim, whether you're Christian, whether you're Hebrew, whether you're Buddhist, whether you're pagan, it's all been designed for us to fail. And if you think about it, the only one that wants us, humanity, to fail is who? Through all of our scholarly teachings in our Bibles and our Qurans, is the evil one, Satan. He's the only one that has something to gain. Okay. And as soon as Jesus told Satan to his face that you are not only the prince of this world, but you are the God of this world, of course he's going to have a big head and he's going to start doing things his way, and making the world in his manner and image, not in God's image, not in the Creator's image. Okay. Because Satan wants us to fail. Okay. Excuse me 1 second. Anyways, getting back to the shadow beings, that is what I mean when you stand by your faith. You let them know when you see them, and when you see them, you will know you've seen them because it'll freak you out. Okay. The first couple times it kind of freaked me out because they would just appear out of nowhere and they would disappear out of nowhere. You turn the corner and they're gone, you know? So, but you have to remember not to get freaked out and just let them know mentally. You don't even have to say it physically, okay? You don't even have to say it physically. Let them know that nothing evil or malevolent has power over you. Plain and simple. Nothing. Okay. All right. My first time in seeing these beings, these shadow figures, and the house that I grew up in, and the property that I grew up on was highly, highly charged and activated. Those of you that don't know me, my one of my parents was a dark witch. Okay, a dark medicine person. Okay, um, those of you that know me know which parent it was, but I'm not going to go into that. Um, so I got taught a lot. Okay, not just about the Native American dark rituals, but about the pagan and natural witchcraft society of the European continent, rituals too. Okay. I got taught how to make dough voodoo dolls. Yeah, I said voodoo. Yeah. Okay. Got taught that. I got taught how to add certain things to stuff that you drink and stuff that you partake of and eat to help you transform into something that you would not be capable of transforming into without it. Okay. And I'm not going to get into the specifics of it. Okay. Because the specifics of it would give the detail away. And I don't want anybody to experience what I've been through. Okay. Plain and simple. All right. I don't want you there. I want you here. I want you learning. Every time Native Americans are have tested themselves, they take the test level farther and farther and farther. Okay. And eventually they'll take it so far that it can cost their life. Okay. Um, that's kind of the same way I was raised, um, in that kind of a, oh, yeah, love cat. We definitely are praying for Nellie. Um, I sent Josh a message yesterday about that, and when I first saw it, and Josh knows he has our love, and Nellie has our love and our prayers. Okay. Um, but yeah, definitely keep Nellie and Josh in your prayers. Josh is a good guy, and while I'm on that subject, what is with everybody getting mad about the differences of opinion? Okay. I mean, for God's sakes, I'm Native American. I grew up with these cryptid creatures around me. I grew up with the spirits around me, through ceremony and not ceremony. I lived my whole life facing this stuff. And I don't take anybody else's opinion or experiences for granted. Okay? We all experiencing things, and we don't necessarily experience it all the same way. Okay? You have to understand that when we're dealing with evil, evil's going to manipulate you however they see fit to get into your life and to get into your spirit and to put that fingernail and grind it underneath your skin to make you feel uncomfortable and to make you feel unwanted. Okay? That's the whole purpose of evil and intent. Okay? I mean, for God's sakes, everybody, I used to be the one that would send out fletchlings. And if anybody knows anything about witchcraft, knows what a fletchling is, okay, to harm people. Okay? Now, what I do nowadays with ceremony is I send out the red-tailed hawk or the bald eagle or the crow to warn people. Okay? That basically let people know that they need to take it easy, okay, and be observant at that certain point in time. Okay? So, but anyways, yes, we are all going to have our own differences of opinion. And Josh and Nellie are allowed theirs just as much as anybody. Okay. So let's not forget that. Okay. We're all here to work together. All right. No one is an expert. Okay. What I've learned over my entire lifetime dealing with this through the Native American culture and through just the regular way I've lived, doesn't necessarily mean that I'm more correct than you are. Okay. It just means that that's what I've experienced. Okay. And that's it. You take that with a grain of salt. Okay. Everybody does it differently. Everybody has their own methods. Okay. And their own experiences. Okay. You'd be surprised how many hundreds of people I hear tell me how frightening their Bigfoot experience was. How it felt like they were going to have their arms and their legs ripped off from their body. I never felt that. Well, I take that back. There was one time. One time when I had a Bigfoot encounter and I was riding dirt bikes and it threw a branch through the front spokes of my dirt bike. Okay. And I flipped. But later I realized that it wasn't because of me. Okay. I mean, technically, yes, it was, but it wasn't because they were being hateful to me. Okay. It was because they were being mean and mad because I upsetted their deer hunt by riding a dirt bike through trails in the woods where they were hunting. I mean, yeah, take it for what it's worth, but you know, the majority of people that have the bad experiences with cryptid creatures are usually the ones that think that they're connected to the wilderness or the forest or the woods. They're the ones that think just because they're a hunter that they have this connection. No, you want to know how to gain respect in that world? Go to the edge of a forest, sit your ass down on the ground, take your shoes and your socks off, like I've always told you, and take your toes and your fingers and just curl them up into the dirt and into the grass and feel that connection. Feel that connection. Don't think the connection. Feel it. Feel it here. Feel it here. Okay. As soon as you make that connection, you put your shoes and your socks back on. Hopefully, your socks first and then your shoes. Um, Otherwise, you look pretty goofy. And then you go about your business out into the woods, into the forest, into the mountains, wherever you want to go. And you'll be amazed that it's not just the cryptid creatures that interact with you, but it is every creature in that forest will interact with you. That's the truth. That is the truth. Okay. The same thing goes for haunted houses and haunted locations. Okay. I've done, I can't even imagine, I can't even count how many ghost hunts I've been on. And everybody's always asking me, Bill, what do you feel about this? Nighthawk, how do you feel about that? And what do you sense, Nighthawk? Because they know I have always grown up sensing things and seeing things and hearing things and all that. So I usually tell them, what I feel and what I hear and what I see. I don't hold back. Okay. If I see something malevolent and evil, I'm going to let them know that there's something malevolent and evil standing 2 feet in front of you and just daring you to enter that house. For instance, there was a warehouse that we did, and the group of individuals that I was doing this with had several years experience in ghost hunting. In fact, the one gentleman quite a bit of experience. And this warehouse was said had a reputation of people walking past it would hear things breaking and screaming and moans and outcries, all kinds of weird stuff. And we went in there, and as soon as because I always went in first, I was always the one they'd send in first. Okay, let Nighthawk go first. Let him get a feel for it, and then he'll come let us know. So, anyways, I'd go in, I'd get a feel for it, and I'd wander around a little bit by myself, and I'd sense things and I'd see things, and I'd go back and I'd tell them this warehouse has this malevolent spirit in it on the second floor. It likes to push people around, physically intimidate them. It likes to scratch. It is and never was human. Okay, which doesn't necessarily mean it's demonic. Okay, let's get that straight. Okay, just because somebody says that it never was human or never was living in human form doesn't necessarily make it demonic. Okay. Now, odds are it is, but it doesn't necessarily automatically make it demonic. Okay. So let's get that straight. Um, because there are entities in nature that are almost as old as the creator. Okay. You know them as elementals. Um, basically, the druids knew them. That's why they knew that when you knocked on wood, you were asking the elemental of the tree that you were knocking upon to give you a hand, to help you, to hide you, or to help you in any way, shape, or form. Okay, it's a druid thing. All right. So, anyways, I went back and I told them that, and they wanted to know how to continue. I said, well, you'll continue doing exactly what you do, and don't provoke, and everything will be fine, you know. And if it comes to it, I'll send it to where it needs to go. And we went in. We had one of the best nights we had in investigating. Got a lot of EVPs, a lot of good stills. I got a video recording of an orb going across in front of me and through the doorway of a closet, and you could see the other side of the wall, and it came out the other side of the wall and continued on. Okay, which was more than likely just the presence or the sensing of something residual. It wasn't really, you know, current or active. All right. Um, but I pointed out too a couple shadow figures that they didn't see and they saw on the film when I pointed it out to them. And they said the first thing too is they're blacker than the black around them. That's how you can make them out. Okay. It's like they absorb everything around it to make it more than what it is. Okay. I'm not sure why, but that's what it is. Okay. Um, but yeah, the shadow beings have been here for the longest time. Um, some people connect them with the jinn. Now, the jinn are a demon. Okay, I mean, let's just face it. They may not be what you considered a Christian demon, but they're considered a demon. In Islam, they're considered a demon. Okay, so and in fact, they're considered to be so malevolent that you want to avoid them as much as possible. Okay, so and just let them do their thing over there, and you do your thing over here. So sorry, I'm going through some of the comments. Yeah, 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 Susie. You come to realize that evil or harmful things tend to warn you first. Yes, yeah, Eric, that's true. That's very true. And it's like a lot of people talk about the Mothman. And let's take that for example. Okay, Mothman. Okay, we all know about the Mothman. Okay, Point Pleasant, West Virginia, 1960s. The Silver Bridge collapse, all those innocent lives lost. I think it was like 32 or 33 of them that were lost. Their vehicles and then went into the Ohio the River. And the Mothman was reportedly seen on top of the bridge that very same night. Okay. And unfortunately, it was a steel girder pin, like a big bolt that had basically sheared off and caused the entire collapse. Because the way those bridges are designed, in fact, I think some of them are still designed that way today. That when one thing goes wrong with it, it can come down tumbling down. Yeah, I don't know why they made them that way, but they just did. Um, so yeah, but they said because the Mothman was there that it caused it. Well, how do you know that it caused it? Maybe it was there to try to prevent it. Um, and then you hear about people. Well, my brother, very good brother of mine, Dave Spinks, and if he's watching, God bless you, Dave. I miss you. I'd like to talk to you soon, if possible. Um, Even he's reported and done investigations on the Mothman where people have said that this entity has come home with them and created havoc on their home and their personal lives, and that it's malevolent. That may be. That may be, but we still don't know its entire motive. Okay, because when you're dealing with entities like that, especially supernatural ones, which I believe was what the Mothman is, he's supernatural. He's not a cryptid. Okay, he may be able to show up in flesh form, but that doesn't make him a cryptid. That makes him no more a cryptid than it makes me a cryptid. Okay, so yes, the jinn are bad news. You have that right, Love Cat. Definitely. Tombstone, good to see you, brother. Um, Starting to get harder to talk because I keep on losing my breath, everybody. Sam, good to see you. Um, the whole doppelganger thing is what worries me. I don't know if some of you have ever dealt with a doppelganger. I think I've dealt with it one time in my entire life. And I never really got answered correctly on it, on whether it was a doppelganger or whether it was just something else demonic. But I do believe that the doppelgangers might be you in a different timeline. Now, I want to say this. I want to say this to where you will understand or be able to comprehend this, okay? Because you on a different timeline doesn't necessarily mean that it's coming to do evil harm. See, we are all connected in this timeline, okay? And the reason we're seeing a lot of this weird shit going on in our lives is, and I hate to say this, is because our timelines have been messed with secretively through the governments and the military, secretly through organizations like CERN, the Brill Society, and other satanic cults, vampiric cults. Our timelines have been completely intertwined and intertangled to where they're all just conscrewed and into a ball. And then what we have to think of is we are right at that center where they converge. Every one of those timelines have to converge somewhere on our timeline. At those conversion points is where we see things from the past, see things from the future, see things from the present. Okay, it's just up to us to try and figure out which they are. Okay, so that is my theory on the whole timeline thing. They the doppelgangers. I it's been reported that when everybody sees them, they don't have a face. Okay. Now, like I said in the beginning of this podcast, the reason they don't have a face is because they don't identify as anything yet. Okay, because they can't until they make that connection. And when they're standing there in front of you with their back to you, they're not making the connection to you. They're there to make the connection to somebody else. Okay. So until they can make that recognition, that connection. Okay, like it's all like I've always said, being Native American, we never stare cryptids in the eye. Okay, you can glance at them and look down, but you never stare with that intent because you will make a connection spiritually to that being. Okay, and you have to remember, you and I, we're all energy. That's all we are, pure energy. So if you make that connection, that's like plugging a cord into an outlet and making a connection. That being or that entity is going to be a part of your life, and there ain't going to be too much you can do about it to negate it. Okay, that's just the way it is. True, very true, Ona. Yeah, very true. I'm glad you said that. Yep, it's all comes down to that. Now, a lot of the times when you're dealing with doppelgangers, they're going to take their time because the more you fear, the more you open yourself up to them. Okay. Just like with anything evil, the more evil you fear, the more you open yourself up to that fear. Okay. And to have that evil enter your life. All right. And you don't need that. That's why I always say stand by your faith. I don't care what faith you are. I don't care what faith you are. Stand by your faith, not your religion, but by your faith. Okay. Exactly. See, Eric knows. Yeah, you get that. You don't want to make that spiritual connection to any entity. Okay. And especially being Native American, um, because we have what we call totems. Okay. We have, well, like with my people, I have the red-tailed hawk for a spirit totem. I have the eagle. I have the crow. Okay, as a spirit totem. I have the elk. All right, and I have the bear. All right, these are all my spirit totems, and I have the wolf. Okay, and the turtle. So, and these totem animals represent spiritual things. Like with the wolf, it's teaching and brotherhood, and take care of the pack as a whole. Okay, not just yourself. With the bear, it's strength, and with the buffalo, it's wisdom. Okay. Anyways, I'm losing my voice. Anyways, I think that it's like that. Okay. When you start recognizing the spiritual path you're on, you're going to have all kinds of weird stuff happen to try and coerce you into doing the wrong thing. Okay. And a lot of people do the wrong thing with the wrong intent. Okay. So, freaky geek. Yeah, part of your name was. Yeah, just part. Oh, anyways, doppelgangers, not good. They feed off your fear. That makes them stronger. It's just like anything evil. It feeds off your fear. Okay, let's face it. And this whole world is full of evil. Okay, it really is. It's so full of evil. It's sickening. Um, I would just like to take one day for not even maybe just a minute a day for say 7 days straight. Okay, and get everybody together and think about one positive thing. Everybody thinking about the same thing at the same time of the day, whether it's world peace or whether it's um, the cure for hunger, whatever it is, okay? I would like all the masses to concentrate on that one thing and imagine it happening and see what happens. See what happens in our world. Yeah, shadow people do suck. They will suck the life force right out of you if you let them. So, but then again, I've never had, yeah, definitely choose your weapon wisely. Yeah, which is usually your faith. Okay. So I know I keep going back to that, but that's exactly what it is. Okay. Evil doesn't like the light. Okay. Whether you're Buddhist, whether you're Muslim, whether you're Christian, whether you're pagan, just because somebody's pagan doesn't make them dark, because you can be light and pagan. Whether you're Wiccan, it doesn't matter. But stand by your faith and use that light in your faith to fight the evil, to fight the darkness. That's how we overcome it. Okay. Simple. Not everything is demonic, but things do have a connection to being demonic. Okay. I'm not one to say that when I go into a haunted facility, whether it's a prison, whether it's an amusement park or whatnot, or a school, or just an abandoned building, I'm not one to say automatically that something's demonic. Okay. Because a lot of the times it's not. It's a lot of times it's spirits that don't want us there. Okay. They just don't want us there. Okay. Irregardless of whether they can feed off of our energy or not to promote themselves and to tell us why they're there, it doesn't matter. Okay. It doesn't matter. Let's see. Oh, somebody's writing a book here. T.L. Davis, the closer you get to the higher spiritual power of whatever religion you follow through truth and knowledge, the more you'll attack you. Yep. Attract what you're drawn to, strength and faith and no fear. Exactly. It all comes down to the fear factor. By the way, that was a great show. I wish they'd bring it back. It all comes down to the fear factor. Okay. Um, if you let them think that they can control you through your fear, you let them have power over you. You don't let anything have power over you. Nothing has power over you except your creator, whoever you deem your creator is. Okay. So, but nothing has power over you. Plain and simple. Armor of God. Yep. Yep. And the one thing that disturbs me about a lot of the religions is the fact that the creator didn't tell us you need to be this certain religion. You need to say you're a Christian. You need to say you're a Muslim. You need to say you're a Buddhist. You need to say you're a Hindu, into Hinduism. Yeah, the creator never said that. Okay. The creator, most of these other figures through past history and stuff, whether it's biblical or in the Quran or whatnot, or even the Sumerian tablets with the Anunnaki. Um, and I'm well aware. I've studied the Anunnaki and the Sumerian tablets. I've studied the Book of Giants. I've studied the all the missing manuscripts from the Bible, and there's a lot of them. I don't know why they tore that book apart. If they wouldn't have tore that book apart, it would open up so much knowledge to us that we have forgotten. Okay. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, whether you call him Jesus Christ, whether you call him Buddha, whether you call him God, whether you call him what my people call him Wankantanka, which means the Great Spirit, um, there's still only one creator. Okay. There's one creator, one super alpha omega creator. Okay. And, it's like I said in the beginning of the podcast when Jesus was on the earth and he confronted the devil and he said to the Satan, he says, "You're not only the prince of this world, but you're a god of this world." Okay. That gave the devil permission to rule over us. That gave evil permission to try and outdo us, to make us do things and to make this world in their image, not in God's image, not in the creator's image. Okay. So that's why I say, I would love to take the time to have everybody just come together for 1 minute, just 1 minute a day for 7 days straight, and think about the same thing good happening, whether it's world peace, whether it's no such thing as famine, whether it's, the environment being clean and healthy. One thing, just have everybody concentrate on that one thing together and see what happens. See what kind of pole shift we have. See what kind of feeling the world has. Because I guarantee you it will make a difference. I guarantee it will make a difference. Yes, Ozzy Sue, I agree. They created the religions to divide humanity. Yes, you are right. Because it's easier to conquer a divided people. Okay. It's easier to keep the ants in the anthill under control if you keep them constantly divided and keep them constantly bickering back and forth with one another over stupid things. Oh my God, he said religion's stupid. Yeah, religion is stupid because it was made by stupid man. Okay? Not made by the creator. God didn't say, you know what? I want you to proclaim yourself as a Buddhist. And that's it. No, he didn't. Okay? Mankind did. What God said to us, the Creator said to us, was when you consume what I have bequeathed you in your world to sustain your life, you make sure that you even eat the seed. Think about that. Think about that. The tomato, the apple, the orange, the pear, the carrots, the green peppers. Oh God, the green peppers. Um, eat all of it, including the seed. Do you know that there was a race of people in Africa that lived to be 190 years old, that one of the doctors from I forget what it's called, Doctors Without Borders, I guess is what it's called now, went to their country, into their nation in Africa, and was talking to a gentleman, and he said, "Oh, you look pretty good for 60 years old." And you know what the guy told him? He said, "If you think I look good, you should see my grandfather, who's 190 years old." And he says, "By the way, I'm 90 years old, not 60." Makes you wonder. And you know what that nation of people ate constantly, like munched on like potato chips? Apricot seeds. They ate the seeds because God said, when you eat and partake of what I give you to nourish on, make sure you eat the entire thing, seed and all. Makes you wonder. Makes you wonder. There is so much that we have forgotten. So much. We need to really think about the past. Well, I've rambled on enough. Um, yeah, sunflower seeds are good too, Tom. You're right. I've rambled on enough. I'm sure you all might be getting sick of me, but I wanted to come on today and go over a few things with you. And this being Sunday, I thought it'd be a good subject. Um, just stand in your faith, man. I mean, look at me. Literally. I mean, it's just I I'm I pretty much just take things as they come because we're not guaranteed another day. Okay. I might not wake up in the morning. This might be my last broadcast. And if it is, I would hope that this broadcast would continue to be shared with millions of people because it's something that they need to realize. They need to realize that, you know what, we're not so far separated from what we believe and what we have been fooled to believe. Okay. And that's exactly it. We're not that different. We're not. Color doesn't make us different. We all bleed the same. The only way they can make us different is if we fall for their religion. When you enter the religious part of it, whether you're Catholic, Pentecostal, Christian, Eastern Orthodox, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, whatever your faith is, that's what separates us because we're not looking at it as our faith, as in faith in the Creator, the one that created us and created this beautiful world. We're looking at it as our religion. We shouldn't be doing that. Religion shouldn't separate people. It should bring people together. Think about that. Well, I will see you all Friday night, Into the Red Rabbit Hole podcast. We're going to be talking about the Anunnaki and the reptilians and all that. So it's going to be interesting. Saturday and Sunday, hopefully I can get off to a good start Saturday morning and Sunday morning this coming weekend. so we can get you guys the back to the weekend Paranormal Brew show, and we guys can join. In fact, hold on. Oh, okay. Sorry, I needed that. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. Sam, thank you, brother. I appreciate that so much. You guys have no idea. Those of you that are friends with me on Facebook, I hope you all are, because I love each and every one of you. You guys are my family, just as much as my lovely wife Tracy and my kids are family to me. My sister is. You guys are too. That's why I kind of hope that these teachings carry on after I'm gone, because it's something that we've forgotten. We have forgotten so much. And we need to realize that we do have that Christ within us. Oh, Sam, thank you. Okay. Uh, anyways, everybody have a great night. All right. I'm going to try and get back on here probably Thursday night for Becoming Monsters, maybe Tuesday night. We'll see. Okay. Um, but then into the Red Rabbit Hole on Friday night. Um, that's going to be a good one because I'm going to try uh, and bring back on Eric, who's in the chat, hopefully Friday night, and we can talk about Giants again because I've been sitting on that subject for a while, and I think it's something we need to talk about. Okay. And yeah, we'll get into the whole Nephilim thing and all that too. So it'll be interesting, hopefully. So everybody be blessed. Love you all very much. And we will see you all sometime this week. Okay. Take care.